All right. Good afternoon, class. My name is Anna Momo. I am going to be your trainer this afternoon. I'm going to teach you guys today on media information. I mean, we are going to be having a session in conjunction with for the Media and Information Literacy Week that is hosted by UNESCO as well as GLODOM. For this week, I believe this is the second last day. We will be teaching you on various aspects, including disinformation and the pandemic it creates, as well as mobile app development. So without further ado, let's move right into it. So the reason for this session is to promote information literacy so that people can actually understand the aspects of information literacy and what the impact of it. So for most of us, we know that we are living in an age with a pandemic, which is the coronavirus, and also with the coronavirus, it has made possible, or it has forced us to be in situations where we mostly depend on the internet for lots and lots and lots of our information, which is accurate and on time and delivered at our fingertips. So for this, we want to be able to teach you the effects and how to fight against misinformation as well as a pandemic. Let me just say that again. We want to teach you how to fight misinformation as a pandemic while also facing the coronavirus pandemic, in case you didn't catch it earlier. So the pandemic itself, it works, or it becomes a fuel for a lot of public health, social and political division. So with all of these things, we find ourselves in situations where we don't know what to believe. And now, for this reason, Korea, as well as UNESCO, as well as GLODOM, has made it possible for us to celebrate the misinformation literacy week this week, as well as just teaching us on exactly how to not fall victim and also how to just resist it. So everybody is welcome, and let me just say welcome to the session. And then the theme for this year is everybody, media literacy, media information literacy for everybody, by everybody. So it's not a coincidence that you are here today. Count yourself in the everybody aspect. So this is just also to make sure that we include good quality information, especially from our journalists, people, so that people can be able to be critical thinkers when it comes to certain information, and also to encourage the freedom of expression, which is also one of the ways to go about fighting the pandemic. So as it is, during our class today, we're going to be, I'm hoping that all the participants that are in, there is quite a number of females involved, because not just males. We're trying to look at the gender aspects and then balancing them out, making sure that at least both genders are represented. Collaboration is encouraged because, as you can see, from a Namibian aspect, we have Global, who has partnered up with a higher partner, which in this case is UNESCO, who is bringing us the training, as well as the Republic of Korea. We are very, very working together from their various capacities. So that's one of the guidelines that we look for, happy to embrace. We are closer to a bigger impact. We also encourage, I hope that all of you have brought your friends or told them about this training session. When we talk about equality, we're talking about not only the gender aspects because it's already covered, but we're talking about people with disabilities and people also from marginalized groups that are in faith. And then one of the leading aspects as well is mutual respect. So respect in this instance is just, taking on respect amongst ourselves, as well as for others. In the class, there were guidelines set out on how exactly the class session, we raise our hands, or you type your question in the chat, and then obviously the facilitator or the trainer relay your question to everybody else and then take it up appropriately. And so encourage everybody to participate. And this process we're taking out, where a teacher, you're taking a observing the teacher approach, where all participants have to look at what is happening on the screen by the trainer, and then that atmosphere of observing the teacher while you are another aspect I want us to class, is there somebody that is, can everybody just possibly our mics, because they're disturbing me. Yeah, if you can please mute your mic as well as Tino, because every time you speak, then I can hear you. All right, thank you so much. I hope that we are all in a safe environment. It is encouraged here, especially working online. There's also a couple of aspects of online safety that we have to cover. Active listening, I think that is self-explanatory. Assigning roles, as we develop the games or the, we'll see that you are most likely not able to take over everything, all the aspects of learning. So it's beneficial to just cover, other people call it delegation, just getting people to also take part and have them execute a specific task. Another guideline that is encouraged is non-stereotyping roles. By this, it's just simply saying that imagine in a world where everybody is able to do each other's traditional roles of work or activity. So this is another aspect that is making sure that we have clear representation, and then we encourage workmanship amongst all. So any task that a boy can do, a girl can do as well. And then the group dynamics. The training covers aspects of encouraging multiple people working together to achieve a common goal. So that is from the side of the guidelines. Next, I want us to be able to start getting into the training session itself. So the training session is going to cover two parts. I am going to cover the computational thinking, which is the theoretical part of what it is we are doing and why. And then I'm going to cover just how exactly the programming works and why we are doing it. Another area is going to be covered by Ndlovu, is the area of the practice or the practical skills that is going to be covered by by Ndlovu, and he's going to walk you through a step-by-step process of exactly what App Inventor is and how one can create mobile applications with it. Okay, so what is a computer program? A computer program is sometimes called software. It's a set of instructions that tell the computer what action to perform, and it's also the driving force behind the computer. One thing I want us to understand is when we say software, this is a part of the computer that you cannot touch. We all know that a computer is either a box or a laptop together with a monitor, but the things that give us the output that we want from the computer or the instructions also is given out through the software, and which is a computer program. And then we also have so to say what people would say is the useless hardware, but it's actually not useless. It's just what keeps everything together. So we need both to function, the software as well as the hardware. The purpose of the tool is to make sure that the hardware is able to tell the computer what it must do, and also the other person for other people to know exactly what we want from the computer. So with that, I want to explain programming. Programming is also called coding, which is the process of writing and maintaining the source code of a computer program and telling it what to do. In other words, programming is the instruction or the process of giving instruction. It is the commands, it is the way forward, it is the voice of what you want the computer to do. It needs to be developed. That is why we put a ing to it, making it a verb, opposed to just having a program. Programs don't get written by themselves, they get written by people through the process of programming, where others call it coding. I hope this is clear. I will leave, oopsie daisy. I will leave a section for questions, and then I will, if you have any questions, you can just type them into the chat, and then we will move on from there. So why is it important to learn to program? Programming or coding allows us to develop logical and problem solving skills, logical thinking as well as problem solving skills. It gives us the skills also to improve our ability to pay attention. All in all, it's also very, very fun. Oops. Just hold on for me, class, please. Please close that door. So, until recently, or yeah, let me say until recently, computer programming required a skilled computerized language, which is most people would know as binary, where the computer simply only understands numbers, which is ones and zero. So imagine my name being so simple with just 2 letters spelled both ways. Anna would only come out in a computer as 011001111, and the computer would actually understand this language. So yeah, but then as time went, other languages were developed. These languages include, but not limited to, C#, or other people just call it C# or C++. It depends on which background you're coming from. There's Java, sorry. There's Java, there's Python, there's Scratch, Blockly, PHP, and JavaScript. These are some of the simplest, most easiest language to use, but they are not the only ones that are there. So I encourage you, as you come from here today, to do a little bit of research and just find out exactly which language are you into. Some of them include a little bit of mathematics, others are having encryption within them, and they're a little bit more complex. But please just do your research and find out exactly what it is that you are going to use. Last week, we taught younger children how to use Scratch, and they were really, really excited. It's not your traditional coding where you have to have inputs, but it's very, very similar to App Inventor, which we are going to explore later today. So before we get into computational thinking, if there is anybody with any questions, I'd just like you to either raise your hand or unmute your mic, or type your question in the chat and we'll quickly attend to it. Maybe if I can just give a 1 minute, 1 minute wait time to see if there is anybody with questions. I think this would be enough to also just get everybody's comments. Are there any? You can unmute your mics.
Anna? 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 Can you hear me? Mr. Momo?
Yes, we can hear you together.
Oh, okay, finally. I would like to know, because I'm also new to a lot of things, why are there so many programming languages? There's Python, there's PHP, there's C++. Why? Or how come we have so many languages?
Perhaps I'll take it because I think Anna might be having some network issues. Well, the reason that there are so many different programming languages is because...
Oh, I am so sorry. I don't know what happened there.
It's okay. It's okay.
Tulenga, can you hear me?
Go ahead, I can hear you.
Oh my word. What is going on? Hi, class. Can everybody hear me? I don't know. Something is happening with my network all of a sudden.
I can hear you.
Yes.
Okay, Tulenga, did you get your question answered?
Not yet. I was in the midst of answering him when you came
Okay.
there.
All right.
So together, the main reason why there are so many programming languages is because it depends with the type of, let's say, job that the particular developer wants to do. If you want to create a website, you can use all of the different programming languages that were mentioned, but the best that are there, for example, JavaScript is brilliant for web development. And then there are languages that are specifically designed perhaps to just communicate with the server, which would then be like where you store all your information, languages like PHP. So I think that's just the main difference. And also the language syntaxes that are there, they allow for a wider range of uses, which allow you to be able to create so many different things without being constrained by one particular programming language. I hope that answers your question, Chugela.
Thanks, Tino.
Awesome. Yes, back to you, Anna. Back to you.
All right. Am I sharing my screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we can see your screen, Anna. Please continue.
Okay. So moving into computational thinking. Computational thinking is the ability to communicate your thoughts through logic in a structured way. So basically, computational thinking is the way in which allows an individual to think as the computer does. So it's a type of thinking where you take things step by step, and it also allows you to look for to look for solutions in a step-by-step way that usually keep recurring. So yeah, it's repetitive in most ways, in most cases. It's just also a creative way of doing things. The thoughts of processing involves formulas and problem solving, as well as expressing solutions. So computational thinking is it can be done by either humans or machines. And it just makes it easier to carry out in that particular way. So computational thinking has 4 spheres that we're going to look at. The first sphere I always prefer to give out is the decomposition sphere. This sphere, if you actually think about it, when you're doing computational thinking, you're using your whole brain, the left and the right hand side of the brain. So when it comes to decomposition, it's basically taking this big problem and chopping it up into small pieces so that you are able to manage it better, and so that you are able to see exactly what the problem is. Drusilla, kindly mute your mic. Thank you. Then the next sphere of computational thinking is the pattern recognition. Pattern recognition allows us to look, criticize, or analyze at the problem and see exactly where it's going to be repeating itself. Say, for instance, a simple step, a simple process like walking. Due to computational thinking, the body already understands how it is that you take a left that you pick up your left leg and pick up your right leg. All these things happen in sequence. So, and they keep repeating themselves until you reach your destination, until also it's time to do the next activity. So that is how pattern recognition comes into play. The third sphere of computational thinking is abstraction. Abstraction is basically removing the things that are not important or not necessary in order for you to come up with a solution, not only for one, but a number of problems. So the last and final sphere of computational thinking is algorithm design. This is a step-by-step instruction of how to do something. So at the end of the day, once you have broken down your problem and recognized the pattern and abstracted what is not necessary, the last thing for you to do is basically just set out a set or develop a set of steps that allow you to do the particular activity that you want to happen. So let me just decipher it a little bit more or break it down for you. Let's start with decomposition. Decomposition is where the learner is invited into a problem and problem-solving scenario. And then we would then come up with a not so complex, but just a complex multiple-step problem-solving facilitator. Sorry, English is a foreign language. And facilitate conversations to help learners break down a particular thing. For instance, you want to go to the store and you want to, and you need to break down the small tasks involved. So the first thing you do, say for instance, you live in a town. The first thing that you have to do is identify which shop or market you are going to go to. And what is it that exactly you are going to buy? You need to plan how much time you are going to spend, and also oopsie daisy. At the end of, sorry class. At the end of the day, we're going to be able to look at things such as how much money or how many items is it that you're going to buy. Are we all together on decomposition? Do we all understand?
We are good.
Okay. All right. The next part of computational thinking is pattern recognition. So, like I said, when it comes to computational thinking, we are going to look for similarities or a trend or something that is happening over and over and over. This is going to allow learners to analyze objects or yourself to analyze and for you to figure out exactly what is the end goal or what is the result that is going to happen as a result of this pattern. So it's a matter of developing an understanding of the trend and therefore making predictions based on it. For an example, your football team is playing their arch rival. When we say arch rival, we're talking about your biggest enemies when it comes to that particular activities. These are people who are almost as good as a match as you. So they know their game, they know you've played them a couple of times, but this time you want to win and you want to just surprise them. So at the end of the day, you as a team, you are going to work on your skill that is going to help you understand exactly the last time you played them, what was it that made you win? Or what tactics did they use that you were not so strong on? Where are their best players? Who are their best players? And then from your side, what are your skill sets and what are your shortcomings? And then you use all this information because you've played them a lot of times before. You use all this information to your advantage so that next time you play them, there's without a doubt you'll be able to win them or to make the most out of this game that you're going to play. Abstract thinking focuses on what is important and ignoring the unnecessary. Like I said before, there are certain things when it comes to solving problems that we tend to focus on, but they're actually not that important. They are relevant, yes, but they are not that important. So we just want to get the core information or the most important information from a particular situation. For instance, look at the example we are given here. We have been asked to draw a cat. And now in our imagination, we must figure out all the things that represent a cat. We must draw the cat with the legs, the eyes, the fur, the tail. That's the basics of it, and maybe the ears and the whiskers. So we don't need to know the sound the cat makes or all those other details like they like to eat fish, and all these things are regarded as irrelevant because they are not going to be part of the drawing. So this information, like the cat likes eating fish, it's going to be taken out. So that is what abstract thinking is all about. Ignore what is unnecessary and focus on what is important. The fourth and final part of it, computational thinking, is algorithm design. Algorithm design is just creating a step-by-step instruction to complete a particular task. This involves developing a solution to a problem, creating a sequence of rules and following them. So algorithm is just making sure that if you are going to boil water today, you are going to use the same process to boil water tomorrow, and it's going to be followed so that it can solve our problem, which is the reason why we are boiling water. Here is an example. Someone stops to ask you for directions to the nearest store. You need to give them clear, step-by-step instructions to the nearest route. This is just a scenario. Somebody comes to your town and asks you, how do I get to ShopRite? The first thing you have to tell them, from the very beginning where we started with decomposition, we asked them, do you have money? What is it that you want to go get at ShopRite? Because maybe they want to go buy a brick or cement, but then they are thinking they can also go buy it in ShopRite. So all these things need to be set out and they need to be followed step by step. So when it comes to digital skills, there is the same process of computational thinking needs to be followed. This is for reasons
Anna?
when you carry out your activity. Yes?
I think
Hello?
I had lost you for a...
Oh,
No, I think I
okay.
had lost...
All right. So when we carry out our activities, oh, what happened? when we carry out our activities, we need to do it in a confident manner. So coding allows us to have that confidence to communicate and also get creative. It allows us to have fun and interact with other people. So when you're building your application, for instance, you can do it in collaboration with other people. This is called interactive. This is called interacting. So even if you are not seeing them face to face, the platform allows you to carry out activities with other people, even in other parts of the world, not just here in Namibia. You develop computational thinking, which is building analytical skills and problem solving skills. And then one of the greatest aspects is making sure that, or encouraging you for future opportunities. I myself am proud to say that I am a, what do you call it? I benefited from the Africa Youth Mobile Training, where we did both Scratch and we did App Inventor. That was in 2017. And then I went on to do other programs that allowed me to learn other programming languages. And currently, I'm very well vested in the ICT space, and I'm very well vested as a developer as well as an entrepreneur, amongst other activities that I do. So me being part of those also allows me to have a competitive advantage. So whenever I submit my CV somewhere, for instance, and they want just a programmer on maybe somebody who does JavaScript, I'm also able to tell them that, no, I know how to code in Python, and I have also developed on these other projects. So the projects that I have worked on allow me to be, to participate even in global conversations all over the world. So all these things that we're doing here, it's just for our digital skills literacy, and also for us to build confidence, give us that push that we need into the future, have fun, work with others, and of course, be able to solve problems and learn how to think logically.
Yeah.
So, in case you were skeptic, I just want to read out a few of the things that people who have done coding or have taught coding agree on. These are people like Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs is the owner, the late owner of Apple. Apple is the company that does iPhones, iPads, iPods, and a lot of Apple products. I know we all respect them. So Steve Jobs was like, learning to code teaches you how to think. And it really does, because it keeps your mind racing. The adrenaline levels are high and you tend to enjoy it. And then we have people like Mark Zuckerberg. Mark Zuckerberg is the founder and CEO of Facebook. We all use Facebook. In case you didn't know, the theory behind Facebook is programming or coding. And Mark Zuckerberg said, learning to code is all of my friends who have younger siblings are going to college or high school. My number one piece of advice is you should learn to code or to program. So all these things, imagine these people in their Americas and, you know, on the different continents that they are in, and the different positions that they own or that they have worked hard for, so to say. I'm encouraging everybody to learn to code. Bill Gates We all know Bill Gates, I'm sure. Bill Gates is the founder and CEO or retired CEO of Microsoft. He said learning to code makes kids feel empowered, creative, and confident. Oh no, that was the guy, the CEO of YouTube. Sorry. So imagine how the CEO of YouTube is actually encouraging everybody to code. So those were just some of the commentary from well-known people who are in the programming space and feel the need that everybody should be included. So the reason why coding is actually encouraged is because we need it not only for our daily lives, but for our daily lives. What I mean by this is that at the end of the day, if you look at it, coding is cross-cutting into other subjects as well. You can have code, you can develop a program that assists, for instance, with mathematics, chemistry, or even languages. These are crossing into barriers that are almost each and everywhere. They give such a meaningful context to learning, and learning is a process which is not a product. So this is why we are actually encouraging, especially school-going children, to just be able to learn. It simplifies the complex ideas into simpler, into smaller parts. So imagine complicated things in the world right now. For instance, managing the contact trace of COVID-19, for instance. These things can be, they look like they are so big to handle. They are huge problems. But with coding, you can just create an app, distribute it amongst your family members for as a prototype, and then at the end of the day, you are able to actually develop or find means to find out whenever somebody is identified as a positive COVID-19 case, you're able to find out if that person was anywhere near you, to also find out if you were in harm's way. So these are the type of things that coding, programming allows us. The fact that we can deploy it in almost any subject. So, like I said, coding is for everyone. It is for me and you, your little sister. Even in countries where people literally love to code, you would find even old people venturing into coding and developing mobile applications, creating websites, and. So in this case, I'm going to allow Ndlovu to take over so that he can just walk us through exactly what the mobile application process or programming is all about. So Ndlovu, I'm handing over to you.
Thank you very much, Anna, and I think you've done quite well with the introduction. Hi guys, I would just like to know and to just remind people that please do remember to fill in this particular form. The link was shared in the chat. This is so that we can be able to send you the recordings of these tutorials, as well as to send you any further information should more meetings arise as well. So I'm just going to drop this link in the chat, and I would like everyone to please fill it up while in the process as well. So after this, before we get into coding, I'll just allow all the participants to just take at least 2 minutes. Right now the time is 2:50. So then that means I'll give you by 2:52. I hope that everyone would have been able to fill the form. Please do fill in the form so that we can then start up with the day. I'll wait for everyone to fill it in. Thank you. And once you are done, please do just highlight that you're done so that we can all move on.
Uwi ko sa ako. Dahil kinanyan ang delta niya, karang klase, teguro yan.
Okay, the 2 minutes has passed and assume that everyone has been able to fill in the form. If there are any questions, please do feel free to ask. If you believe or you think I'm too fast, please do tell me that I'm a bit fast. I see that, yes, please do simply tell me if I'm a bit fast. I see someone just asked in the link, in the chat where the link is, it is on top. In case you had just joined, we are going to send it. I'll give you another minute to type so that we can all be in at one point by the time that we start. Okay, because of time, I'm then going to continue. So, for those of you that have not heard of MIT before, MIT App Inventor is the software that is used, as you know, it's similar to Scratch in terms of creating applications for websites, except that with this one, you're able to create applications for Android-based applications or Android-based cell phones. So this means that your app will be able to run on any Samsung, on any, I'm not sure if Huawei is still using Android, on any Hisense, on any particular phone that currently is in existence. While we are there, if you ever wanted to perhaps, let's say, run through the information, or if you want to also follow this tutorial, you are going to have to download these, the links that I have been sending in the chat. This is you can download it for any Windows computer. I'll just paste them in the chat again, just in case someone had not seen them. Allow me to just paste it in the chat again, and then please do feel free to follow this. So these are just the steps that you need for you to be able to follow this tutorial thoroughly. And these are also the things that you need for you to be able to run your program successfully. I've already set up my particular PC and everything. If you haven't, it's okay. This might take between 15 to 20 minutes or to an hour, depending with the speed of the network that you're having. So for that reason, I'm just simply going to jump right into the coding section and then start explaining it and not wait for people to finish or for people to download. But feel free to download these links immediately after this meeting so that you can be able perhaps to follow up. So here I've put the links on how you can connect your code or your game or your app that you're creating to the smartphone through a USB cable. I've also put a link of how to do it and to run it through the emulator, which is something that I'm going to be doing in today's session. I'm going to be using the emulator for it. So I'd like to know if there are any questions before I continue. Please do feel free to just unmute yourself if you have any questions and ask as we go along. Does anyone have a question? Okay, I'll take it that no one has got a question. Since no one has a question, I'm going to simply skip these few steps that are here. You'll be able to see that once you come into the running the software, installing the emulator, it will show you if you're having a Macintosh PC, you're able to install it there. If you're running Windows, you're able to install it there. If you're running it on Linux, or if you have got a Linux-based computer, you are also able to run it there. So today I'm using a Windows-based PC because I've discovered is the best for this particular software and for the emulator. So I'm just going to ignore that new project, the project which you're looking at there, and I'm just simply going to say project 1. So we're going to be creating a couple of projects as we're going along, about 2 projects for today's session, 2 to 3. We'll see how the day goes and the time. So when someone logs into MIT, when you do click on MIT, you can simply come to your browser. You simply search App Inventor, and if you hit enter, it will show you where the platform for that is. So you click on the first link that you're seeing. And then if you like, you can read through the tutorials and how to get taught, etc. In our case, you can just simply click on create apps. And once you click on create apps, it will show you, it will take you to where you're then able to create any apps that you'd like. And it would also show you the different types of apps that you have created. So as you can see, this is the first app that I just created now, which is called Project 1. So once you click on it, it will open up the platform or the interface for you. It will show you this particular information or this pop-up that will be telling you that if you have an Android or a tablet, you are able to set it up and you're able to run it. I'll just simply click on continue. So I'd just like to ask again, if I'm too fast, please do tell me that I'm a bit fast. and then I will do my best to slow down. I see that someone has got a question, but they don't know how they can ask it. Okay, please do feel free, I believe Mr. Sylvester, feel free to type the question, and I'm sure that perhaps Anna or one of the Glodom participants or members that are present today will read the questions for us today in today's session. Okay, if you don't have a mic, feel free to type the question. Okay, you can hear me, but you can't see me. Okay. The main reason why you cannot see me, Mr. Sylvester, is because I'm on a laptop that does not have it doesn't have a web camera. There is no web camera on the laptop. That's why you're not able to see me. My video is off. That's why you cannot see me. So once you log into MIT App Inventor, you're going to see a lot of interesting things. You're looking here at the logo, a couple of projects here. If you click on that projects button tab there, you're able to see import a new tab, create a new tab, save a project, export. You've got so many different things that we're not going to be looking at in today's session per se. However, if you click on connect, you're also able to see AI companion. This feature is for you when you have installed it in your PC. Is for when you have installed it in the PC, this AI companion, and then it will be able to run on the laptop. The emulator and the USB allow you to run it on the PC. So that's really great. And then you also have a build section that would allow for. We also have a build section that allows you to, after you've created your game or your app, you're able to save it as a .apk to your computer. So for those of you that are not very technical or software based, or this is your first time hearing these things, Android computers or Android phones and anything that is Android, they use the extension code .apk. So you can create your first project and then you can call it, let's say, project1.apk, and then you download it. So WhatsApp is whatsapp.apk inside the smartphone. Those are all the different types of apps that this Android software uses in particular. A second alternative would also be that it would just simply provide you with a QR code for the APK, and then it would allow you to just simply save that APK or simply scan the APK, and then it downloads and links your phone to your PC and just downloads the app into your PC, into your phone on your behalf. So that's a really great feature that we have there as well. We also have a couple of settings that does a couple of things that I'm not really going to look at for now. We're going to pass it because we're not going to touch those settings for now. We just want to work with the basics because we're starting off with the basics. There's also the help option right here, which would then allow you to be able, oh, okay, I'll try to slow down a bit. So with this part of the help part, it allows you to have tutorials, set up extensions, report issues, and do a couple of things as well. So I just got a message that I was a bit fast. So I'll just repeat the part in which you have to download or connect your phone to the PC or for you to run this app. So the listed ways for you to see your app while you're working on it would be that you connect your app or your computer through the emulator. So the emulator, it's a software that I'm going to be using. It looks a little bit something like this. It imitates any particular project that someone will be working on, or as if it was on a mobile device. So they're using just a bit older, slightly older version there, but it's exactly how it looks. So the second option would be that you simply have to create okay, session's out of date. Okay, so after that, you then have the, apologies for that reflection, you then have the option or the alternative of connecting your phone to the link. I have put up all the links to this particular, I've put up all the links for the project, for linking your cell phone in the chat. So if you want to link up your phone so that you can be able to see your apps, please follow the links that I put in the chat so that you can be able to download them. I'll just paste them in the chat for the last time, just in case we've got any new participants that might have perhaps been jumped or been skipped while we were showing them. I'll just simply paste that in the chat so that we can all be able to follow it. So if you want to set up the, so I'd say you can run it on the cell phone, set up the emulator, etc. And another option is that after you've finished building your app, you come to build. And then after you come to build, you click on download. You come to build and then you click on download, save APK to my computer. This will save the file to your computer. You'll see that happening in the last section today. After that having been said, to your right, you see here the projects, a whole bunch of things like the language that you're using. If you've seen an issue, if you want a guide, a bit of guidance on how to do it, different types of games that are there, things that you might have deleted, you see all of this information within it. So are there any questions with regards to connecting your phone to the PC and or connecting perhaps the emulator or switching it on, or perhaps regarding any of the basic things that we've just discussed, like how to build your information, how to connect it to your computer? Okay, I see that someone has posted something in the chat. Okay, someone hasn't said understood. Okay, that is brilliant, sir. So now for what we're going to do next is I'm just simply going to explain this side. So if you look to the left-hand side of when you log in your computer and you're looking at the left-hand side of your project, you're able to see the user interface. You're able to see something labeled as layout, media, drawing and animation, maps, sensors, social, storage, connectivity, Lego, experimental extensions. We're going to click on all of those just so that we get a feeling of exactly what it is that we're looking at. But first, I'm going to discuss the user interface that we're looking at here. So the user interface, whenever you open up a new app, maybe it could be Facebook, it could be WhatsApp, or it could be a game, it could be anything. If it's WhatsApp, you're able to see a list of people or of your contacts. The list view. You can also then have the different, maybe perhaps your picture or the pictures of people that will be there. We also see picture here. So we can see that here we've got a lot of different things that we see, but these are the images or the things that are used on the cell phone. I strongly encourage everyone to be able to at least play around with these features as much as you possibly can, because that is going to help you in terms of your coding skills as well as your app building skills. The good thing is that if you have an idea of an app that you've wanted to build, this platform allows you, it brings that dream into a reality. So that's a really brilliant way, and you do not really have to know much about programming. You can just move things up and down and try to use the most basic of understanding with regards to it. We're going to see it as we move along with today's session. So after that, if we click on layout and then we scroll, we can see here that we've got the horizontal arrangement, the horizontal scroll arrangement, the table arrangement. So what you're looking at here are all the different types of ways in which things can be listed. So with the horizontal arrangement, you can have them things just moving in a horizontal manner. I believe we all know what horizontal is. And then with the vertical, which means they're all falling, they all look like a straight line or a vertical line, or like a door, like that's just straight up and down. And then there's also the scroll feature. If you clicked on media, you're able to see the different things that you can do. For example, with the camcorder, which is for recording, this is normally used when you're recording something that's live. We also have a camera. If maybe you want to play around with cameras to see how best you can maybe add your own filters or add some music to your own apps, you can use these particular features that you're looking at here. We're going to play around with some of the things there as well. If you come down to the drawing and animation, this is quite just simple, really. These are just images and things that have to do with animations, the canvas, what you can put inside the canvas. You can imagine a canvas is something that keeps a painting. And we also have got maps. Maybe you want to create your own, Google Maps or anything of that sort. You can also even utilize their apps that are here and the information. You can add the marker, you can add any of the features that come with a map. You are able to add those features onto your app as well. Then we've got sensors. Now these sensors are part of the things that come with your app or with your platform, in terms of it saving your information towards the, let's say perhaps these are things that come with your screen or with your phone. So for example, with the accelerometer, we've got the barcode scanner, with the barometer, with the clock, with the gyroscope sensor, with the hygrometer sensor. So you can see that we've got so many different types of sensors that are there. They even have a thermometer sensor, which can be quite fascinating or interesting if maybe perhaps you want to check your own temperature or check the outside temperature. Please do feel free to take a look at all of those. The next one is also the social part or the social aspects. Maybe you just want to create an app that reads your emails all at once, or maybe that just the moment an email comes in, it just pops up and it tells you precisely what that email is saying. That information can be sent here. And there's also the option or the alternative of you sharing in that information or any of the information that you have with other people. And you also have the texting feature, which is there, which then allows you, perhaps you want to create your own WhatsApp, or maybe you don't like the fact that Facebook and WhatsApp, they are reading and selling your information to other people, and you're worried about your own maybe privacy. You can create your own texting app, and then you just install it maybe in your families, or maybe in your own, only in your family or for your family members, or maybe just for your friends, and then you ask your friends perhaps to use or to utilize that particular app. And then you can just say, guys, let's stop using WhatsApp, let's use my app for chatting so that no one tracks our talks. You can even add your own types of security, your own passwords there, just to make it extra secure for yourself as well, if you like. Before I continue, I'd just like to know, are there any questions so far? Or does anyone have a question? Or perhaps am I going a bit fast? I can slow down, or maybe we're all good. Okay, I got a comment that it's clear. I hope that applies to everyone else. And moving on. So if you now click on the left-hand side where it says palette, you're able to now then see where it says storage. So obviously for every useful or for every app that you might want to create for maybe the marketplace, or even the one that we're discussing now of sending messages to people, you obviously want to use a certain type of storage facility. It's like your memory card, you know, you can't, if you need storage facility, you need a hard drive to keep the information of your app or the information of your users inside that app. We also then have the different options like Cloud DB. We can also just store the information on a file. I'm sure that if you go on your phones, I'm sure you'll find some of the things that are labeled as just files. They're just black and white. You can't really read anything on them. That's another example of data that will be stored on your own device. We've got Tiny database. We've got Tiny web database. So the Tiny web database would be best if you're using or maybe creating something that's being utilized by the website or something of that sort. Moving on to the connectivity. So the connectivity starter is quite great because it allows you to do so many different things. If you've never played around with Bluetooth, but you're really curious about how it works, maybe you want to start your own sending messages via Bluetooth without someone accepting your messages. That would be a really great idea, or a great way of doing things. You can just simply click on the Bluetooth and then play around with that. Again, if we then move on to the last part, which is Lego Mindstones, these are just a few more things that come really, really deep inbuilt within your phone. These are features that if you have a smartphone, there are certain *1 something, those numbers, those *#0, * things that you have to type. Those features are normally found right here if you like. So you can see the touch, the ultrasonic, the direct commands. All of those information can be found right here. So you can see how they were programmed. And one of the great features that they're really trying to implement is the Firebase database. So for those of you that do not know what Firebase database is, it's a database platform that was created by Google to support mobile applications developers. It also works with web-based development, and it's really brilliant because it provides you with crash analytics. It provides you with crash analytics. It provides you with basically everything that comes with it as well. It provides you with crash analytics, the number of people that have installed it. So that means if, let's say, 5 people install your app and maybe it crashes on 2 phones, Firebase database sends you automatic messages to tell you that Tino's phone or Tugela's phone has crashed. The app in that phone has crashed. Maybe this was the reason. Maybe it was overheating, or maybe it was because of space. So that's a really great tool. I really look forward to them implementing Firebase extension into this particular platform, because that will make it really brilliant and easier for everyone else to be able to do anything. It works as best as an extension. And for those of you that might not know, it also comes with an import extension. What this does is that it allows you to import any extensions or anything that you want. That means you can create an CSV file somewhere, an Excel sheet file somewhere, maybe of your maybe of your students. Then you create default passwords for them, and then you can just simply come up here and then you start creating a user login platform for them. That's one of the other features that we'll look at perhaps later. Okay, so that's it or enough for the palette. If we now then look at the viewer section, assuming that we don't have any questions with regards to the palette, if we look at the viewer section, we can see that this is where you then have got the phone. So if you click here, you can see that you've got monitor size, tablet size. So you're able to switch between the different things that are there. And then you're also able to really make it big and able to show you just exactly how it works. So I'm just going to bring it back here to tablet size. Then I'm going to be playing around with this. I hope this will be big enough for everyone to see. So if you look to the left-hand side, to the right-hand side of the screen where the mouse is, you're able to see what's written components. So the components refers to everything that will be inside of your particular platform. So that means anything that's inside here is going to be displayed right here at the component section. All the things that will be, you see that as we are moving along, you'll be able to change the names or to delete certain features that you do not want. If you also want to upload specific files, maybe some songs or some images, you just need to come to under that, under the components tab where it says media, and then you're able to change it. If you look to the right-hand part, which is the last part, you can see all the different things that currently exist. These are all the different sensors and the info things, the properties that you'll be able to change within your platform. So I'd just like to ask, are there any questions before we start with creating the app for today? Are there any questions regarding the basic platform? And I saw the message that someone just sent now of maybe an email every participant. If you filled in that form that we sent you, we'll send you a link with most likely the information that will be having the different, with the link to the files, to this APK file that we're going to create now, as well as this video, which will then allow you to create your own summary as you see it fit or as you see it best. So please do make sure that you fill in that form that Ina had dropped in earlier today. I believe it should be up here somewhere. I'll just copy it again, and hopefully, if anyone has not yet filled in this form, I'd like to remind everybody to please fill in the form, as that is going to be extremely necessary for you to receive any information regarding this tutorial today. So what we can see now, assuming that we no longer have any questions, we can see here that we've got the label, and then we've got the buttons, we've got the checkbox. So I'm going to create perhaps an app that just, I'm going to start off with something simple. We're going to create about 2 apps. So I'm going to create the first app. So if you want to put a widget, we call these features widgets. If you want to put a widget inside the screen, you just left click on it, then you drag with your mouse, then you drop it. Just like that, it's in, okay? So the app that I believe we're going to create this time around is just going to be, I would say that it is going to allow you to just simply create or save the, maybe if you shake your phone, it's going to speak when you shake your phone, okay? Let's try to create something like that. We might not be able to practice it here, but it's going to be in the Google folder that this link is going, that we're going to email to you later today. I believe today, later today. So if you look at the left-hand side, Okay, I see that we've, oh, okay. Oh, I sent in the wrong form. My apologies. I think I copied the wrong link. It's yes, the attendance form that had been shared. That's the one we're going to use to send you your emails. That's why there's an email feature. It is this form that you're looking at here. Please do make sure that you fill it in. And also, after you fill it in, please make sure that you put in all the correct information so that we can contact you and send you today's session. Thank you. So we've now put our image here. We've now put our button here, assuming that you no longer have any more questions. We've now then put our image right here. And since we've now put our button here, and so what now? We are seeing that, yeah, there's a button, but there's nothing more happening to it. It even has text or information that we don't really want. We don't want it to say text for button one. Maybe we also don't like even the color of the button, like why is it gray, you know, like we don't want that. We want to change it or something of that sort. So the first thing we want to change is going to be to rename this particular platform. Okay, the file, this APK is going to be sent to your email within a Google folder that you'll be having access to, that you'll be having this link and this video for today's session. Okay, so you drag the button and then you drop it. If you want to use that particular feature, I've just shown it again in case someone had missed it. And then if you want to get rid of it, like now I've put two buttons, and in truth, I really just wanted one button. I can just come here to components. You can now see the things that are in the screen. They are now falling under components. After I see button 2, I can click on delete because I really do not want it to be there. And boom, just like that, it's gone. Okay, so that's good. Second thing that maybe want to change that name from button 1 to maybe say something like, let's say, tape me. For now, we could just simply say something like tap me. I don't know, yeah, we can just go with something like tap me. Under normal circumstances, let's see, I've put a space in here, but normally it does not allow spaces to be there. But let's just observe what's going to happen as I click OK. You can now see that it has added an underscore right there, okay? So in case you forget, the system allows you, the system will remind you or tell you that we're going to do this for you. Please make sure that it's what you really want. So after that, if you look to the left, we can see here that the font can be broadened. And then you can see the difference in the changes that's happening there. The first one is the background color. There really is the one with black. Let's just see what happens if we pick this one. I'm not really good with colors, but today let's just go with this one. Or maybe it's a bit bright. But for now, let's leave it since we're going to do something that's a bit interesting. And then if we scroll down, we can see font italic. So if you want to make our text italic inside the button, we just click on that. If you also want to increase the size of the text, let's just try to make it 22. And then we just simply hit OK. You can now see that the button size is increased, and now I'm sure that people were maybe before having problems with dealing with it, but now they are most likely able to deal with it. So if we move on to the next part, which will be the default interface, etc. These features, this part is for the height. We can set to automatic, or you can just simply say fill parent. Let's just see what happens if we click on fill parent. There we go. So if we click on fill parent on the height, we can see that it takes the whole space that is available to it. So that means if you put this phone, whether it's upside down or anything else, it is going to always take the entire space of the screen that's free at the moment. So I don't really want that. So I'm just gonna put it back to automatic, and then I'm just gonna say, okay. But what I do want is I want it to fill the parent under the width section. And I want it to be something like that, in which it's just simply like text for button. So you can see here that we named the button tap me here, but then the name still hasn't changed. It's still labeled as text for button 1. So let's just scroll to the bottom where it says text, and then let's just simply call it, let's just now type something like tap me and I'll speak. Yeah, let's just hope that might work. Tap me and I'll speak. Okay, so there we go. So it says tap me and I'll speak. So that's just telling the speaker or the user to just simply tap so that they can speak. The last but not least, we also have the colors of now the font. Maybe we want to go with something a bit interestingly nasty, or some colors that are not too good. We can just go with this one, and but that's a bit too bright for my liking now. So I'll just put I'll put it back to black. Um, let's just put you back to black. Now, if you look at the very bottom, I want you to notice something that there's this visible button. Let's just see what happens if we click on it. The button disappears. We're going to use that in the next part of in the last session. So now, okay, we said tape and I'll speak, but we know that in truth, it's not really going to speak because there is no information that it has been given to speak, okay? So if we just simply look here, and then if we can come to sensors, we can come to media, and if we come to media, we can see here, I want us to use the one that says text to speech. So I'm just gonna drag and drop this feature. Okay, so we've dragged and dropped it, but then we can see that it has appeared in the components section, but we don't see it on the screen. Okay, let's scroll, maybe it's a bit down. Okay, there we go. So this is an example of a non-visible, this is an example of a non-visible type or if a non-visible component. That means that it's always going to be hidden from the user interface. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it at that. And let's just see if here I can, let's just increase the pitch to maybe 2, or maybe let's just put up to 6. I hope that's going to run. Okay, and then we leave it at that. Okay, so now we've got this app. So for now, this is all that we're going to do, okay? Now, one more feature that I had left out, or that we're now going to look at, is if you look at the very top corner, where it says screen, with the screen, only have one screen, we can add the screen or remove a screen. There's a section that says blocks, right? So we want to click on that very section that says blocks. So after you put in your different images, your different things that you really want to put in here, you can then come to blocks. So the block section, this is now then where you are allowed to change or to edit or to program. This is now where the programming part happens. Ne? This is where you're now then giving your codes or your commands to the different things that are inside the screen. So if you look at this part, it brought us to a new part. It brought us to the block section. We can see here it says type me and then text to speech, where it says screen. So these are the things these are the components that we have inside our designer tab. Okay. So those are the components that we have inside our designer tab. So let's just come back here. And so immediately we can see what it says built-in. So we've got the built-in features. The built-in feature simply refers to the different conditions of the different things that exist. Depending with what you are really working on, or depending with what you're doing, you can always, let's say, perhaps utilize any of these particular features to the best of your abilities, if you like. So I'm going to click on the logic. We can see logic, we can see math. Maybe you are a math fanatic. You can always use these particular functions. You can see here that we have the square root, with the floor, with the ceiling, to say that it should not go higher than this, it should not go lower than this. We've seen, cos, tan, yes, all of these different things, and we've even converting to the radius, etc., and many more of the features. So let's say you select something that you don't really want. Like now, I've just selected this convert to radius. The way to remove it is very simple. Just look on your keyboard and press the word delete. And just like that, it's gone. Okay, so that's really quite helpful. You don't have to remember many things there. Okay, so now just simply saying that, okay, let me just say save the screen now so that it stays like that, because I've removed the blocks that are inside. So since we want to affect something, what we want to do, we want when the user clicks on the step me button, when the user clicks here, where it says step me, we want the computer to speak, okay? So under where it says screen name, we're just going to click here, and then we see all the different things that can affect, or all the different things that can happen to the screen name, okay? So here we can see here that it says tap me, etc. We've got, let's say, perhaps all of these different features allow you to do different things. So I'm just simply going to pick perhaps let's see what happens if we pick this guy, which says tap me, and then okay, and then let's just simply say text. Now we don't really want to set it up to text. Let's just simply remove this guy again. Let's remove you. Okay, let's come back here. It says set tap me to something. Okay, so if we click on set speech, so you can see that those features will always be appearing. So if we click on set speech, we can see here that we're able to set the speech. So when the user clicks on tap me, they're then able to just My apologies for that. I think my network had just tripped for a second. Let me just come back to sharing. Can everyone see my screen? Can you all see my screen? Hello?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay, thank you. So, okay, so while we're back here, what we want to do now is we're going to go into the logic, okay? And we're just simply going to look for an if and a do or something of that sort. Let's just simply scroll. Okay, let's tap on tap me. And then when tap me, yeah, we're going to select the first option that says when tap me and then dot click or something of that sort, do something, okay? So after that, we're just going to come here and then we're going to drag this part that says call text to speak, but this alone is not going to be enough to be able to do anything or to speak. So I'm just now going to come into the text, which says text, and at the very top you see the one which is empty, and there's this open box. If you tap inside the open box where there are brackets, you're able to say something like maybe let's say Happy Africa Code Week. Okay. Okay, Happy Africa Code Week. There we go. So I'm already running this particular the information on my emulator. So let's just see what's going to happen. Let's see. Okay, I believe we have to reconnect. So in our case, when you're running on an emulator, it's always important that you reconnect and then you connect back again, depending with the circumstance that you'll be in or what you'll be working on. So let us see. Let us now then click on connect emulator. Okay, so it might take a minute or two, but we're just going to wait for it to finish and then we should be able to. And then it says that emulator is running. Okay. We're just going to have to be a little bit more patient. Okay, it seems that it has started. Let's see. There we go. So we can see that it has started. Just out of curiosity, I'm going to tap here and see if it's going to speak. Okay, so we can't hear that it's...
Happy Africa Code Week.
There we go. It spoke. Did you guys hear that? I'm just going to tap on it again.
Happy Africa Code Week.
Now, can you hear that? Hello?
Yes, Tino, we can hear.
Okay, so that again shows that it's able to speak, it's able to do that. So as of this part, okay, so as of this part of
Happy Africa Code Week.
So of it saying that Happy Africa Code Week, you're able to do multiple things, you're able to change the language of the speech, and you're able to do so many other things. So that is it for this part. Now I'm going to show you how to build just before we move on to the next section. I'm not going to add a lot of code in this one. However, before we continue, if I'm just going to click on the build section and I'm going to save this as an APK file. So once you click on that save build button, it allows you to start saving the file, and then it should prompt you or ask you where it is that you'd like to save that information. Okay? Just give it a little bit of time as it's working. Are there any questions while it's loading in the background? Are there any questions? Okay, I take. So the only, yes, there we go. So of course, depending with the speed of your network, there we go. So now it would ask you to save the file. I'm just going to say okay. And then it's going to start downloading. There we go. We can see that it just started downloading right there. But for now, we're going to now create a new project. So we come to my projects, start new project. And this time we're going to try and create something that's a little bit more fun than what we've created this time around. Okay, so let's try to create a mini quiz and just see what happens if we can succeed. Okay, okay, it already exists. Let's just create a quiz ACW. And then we just say okay. So the basic breakdown of a quiz, if you remember that when Anna was making that presentation, that there are different aspects of coding that you have to cater for. For example, with the break, we've got there's a point in which you now have to break down that information. And as of now, we are going to create a quiz. So we're just going to break it down. So this time we're just going to take a label and we're just going to change a couple of things and we're just going to give it our name. Let's just rename this and say app name quiz. Let's just say app name. Okay, and then let's just change the name inside that and just say quiz ACW. And then that's it. And then text alignment, let's try to put up at center, but that's okay. So now we're going to move back. I just want to increase this size because it's a bit small. Let's just set up to 24 again. That's a bit small still. Let's try 32. There we go. And I'm going to come to the width again. And if you remember, I want to fill the parent, which should then be able to cover up that whole space. Okay. So we can see here the label, quiz ACW, and now the option or the choice is ours. Let's just click on it again. Maybe I want it to be, let's just broaden it a bit. Interesting enough, it doesn't come with the option of the alternative of, let's say, highlighting. So this is going to be our quiz, okay? So let's just create something that says, now we want the user to start. So I'm going to add a button that just says start right here. I'm just going to call it start underscore quiz. And then I'm just going to copy this and then I'm just going to say, okay. And if the reason why I'm naming them is so that I'll be able to know which value or variable that I'll be working on. So now I'm just going to save this again. And then it's just going to say start quiz. But maybe let's say I want to add something else again that would just be like a greeting to someone. So let's just drag you on top of this. I want you to be on top of that. There we go. Okay, let's just change your text to, okay, first let's rename and just say, let's call you greeting. And then we just say, okay. And then we come in here to change the label and we're just simply going to say something like, maybe let's say, let's put our quotes. There we go. Welcome to the first AC, that's a bit long. Let's just say welcome to ACW. Let's just say how great is your knowledge? Yeah. How great is your knowledge? And then we just simply perhaps go on with something like that. I'm using a new keyboard, so please forgive me. I'm using a slightly different keyboard layout, which is why there's so many typing errors. There we go, typing errors. Okay, how great is your knowledge? And I want it on this text to be aligned to the right. And then let's just simply make it fill up the whole space. Let's make it fill parent. Then okay, so there we go. So now if you come on your emulator, you'll be able to see just how it looks, okay? So this is how it looks. Quiz, ACW, how great is your knowledge? Oh, that's a Z. Okay, let's just change that Z of the greeting. How great is your knowledge? There we go. So the good thing is that we're able to see exactly what's happening. So here we're able to see that, okay, start the quiz, start quiz, how great is your AC? So this is more like our greetings page, okay, our landing page. There's also the option of changing the background color of the website if you like, or not of the website, but I mean of your app if you like. So if you want something black, you can go with that. Black is a bit extreme, but then this allows you to just simply change it. Maybe you want to go something like gray, you can go with that. But I'm just going to put it back to white. So for you to change the background color of the app, you have to click on screen, and then you're able to do that, okay? Just click, go to components, click on the attribute name. In our case, it's screen. So I'm just going to set it back to white. Background color white, let's set it back to white, and it should be going back to white. Okay, now it's decided to start freezing. Wrong timing. Okay, there we go. So we've set it back to white. Okay, so now we've started this quiz, okay? So, but this is not where the person is going to answer. So now we're going to add another screen that would be having the question, and then click on add screen. Then we're just going to say, okay. And let's just wait for it to take us to the next screen. Okay, so now we can see that we've landed to the screen, to the quiz screen part right here. So now perhaps let's just simply try. Now what we want to do, we want to add the question, and then we're going to add a couple of answers. So in our case, it's just going to be a button that someone is going to tap, okay? So I'm just gonna put like 3 of them, and then I'm gonna add another option, which would then be of the answer. Let's just look for another label, then let's just put you there. So since we're here, let's start off with the first one. This part here, let's just call it question 1. I'll just say Q1. And then button 1 will be like answer 1, you know, etc. So I'm just going to leave that part for now because of the time that we're having. And I'm going to go straight to the question. I'm going to come back straight to the question. So let's just simply enter our question here. We could say perhaps, when did Namibia, so maybe you could be creating an app to test your kids or maybe your students in terms of how well they know history, or maybe how well is their general knowledge. So you could say, when did Namibia get independent from South Africa, or independent from SA? If you're having any questions, please do feel free to drop them in the chat, or to just simply ask, or to just simply speak. I'll be able to respond ASAP. Okay, there we go. So we just take a look at it and see how it looks on this screen. Let's see. Okay, so there it is. So it says, when did Namibia get independent from SA? And then we're going to be having a couple of answers. So the buttons are going to be our answers, okay? So let's just say, when did Namibia get independence? Here we could say maybe 25 December. We could just say maybe 25 December 1980. Okay, that would be maybe the first response. And then the second one could be something like, maybe let's say, I believe Namibia got independence on 25 March. Please feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. 25 March, let's say 1990. And then we could be having the last option that could then maybe be saying they did not get independent. They did not get independent. but that's more of a radical question. So let's just go with something light and say none of the above. Okay, most people really like that answer of none of the above. And let me just now also add the last button. Okay, but then let's come to this part and just rename this to say answer. Answer. There we go. And then the button, we're just simply going to rename this. Let us just simply call the button, let's say next, so that it is able to take the person to the next next page or to the next quiz. So I'm going to align you to the left. Okay, so I'm going to align the button to the left. Okay, good. So we have a couple of different answers. We've got the none of the above, we've got 25 December, we've got March, 25 March, etc. Okay, now this is just one of the questions. So let's, of course, the quiz has to have more than 2 or 3 questions. So let's just create another one. And let's do exactly the same thing that we just did now, to see to it that we have got another question. But now perhaps this time we're just going to try and make it maybe a mathematical. Okay, so let's just simply put up another one. We can say label, and then you can say button, and then button, then another button. Okay, so of course you're allowed to use the different features that are there. For this example, I'm just going to, for this particular example, we're just going to go with a button basic. Okay, let's ask the question maybe sum 25 plus sum 25 plus no, let's just say sum 25 and maybe let's say 30. Okay, and then after this we just simply say okay. We could just simply type what is, since it's a question. Oh goodness me. What is the, because remember that this will be made perhaps for your kids or something of that sort. Then after that, we can now come to this and say maybe it's 23 could be the answer, or maybe it could be 100, maybe it could be, let's now put the correct one, which I believe should be 55. Yeah, there we go. So, and then after this, we can now add our label, which will then be representing the answer. So again, I'm just going to say answer. And then after that, we're going to add the last part, which is then going to be the next button again. Of course, there is an easier way of doing things than the way that I'm currently doing it, of putting everything in one by one. We're going to be taking a look at it in a bit. Okay, so these are some of the things that we're looking at. These are some of the features that we, so for the first question, we have this. For the second question, we also have that. Let me just add the last question, last part, the last screen. I'm only going to add 2 questions because of time. This is now the last screen. Yes, hello?
Yeah, it's Sylvester speaking. Now,
yes,
those buttons you are saying, are they like I'm like let's say maybe it is like I'm running a new file on the desk where I store information.
I'm sorry, please repeat. You were breaking, your network was breaking. Sylvester?
My question is this.
No, please just repeat. I'm only hearing the part of this button. Okay, so I think it might be better if you type, because I think I'm not sure if it's your network or my network, but the network it sounds really bad. Please type. I'll just send you that, and then I'll read the message once it's
Okay.
once you've sent it. Okay, I believe we're on the last screen, which is
I'm talking.
Okay, so now for the last screen, I'm just going to add the label, something saying perhaps thank you for working with us. We'll just simply say something like thank you. Thank you for partaking in this quiz. Okay, let's just upgrade that size. Now that's a bit large. Okay, let's just see how it looks on the emulator. Okay, thank you for participating. Okay, so it's a bit large, so I'm just going to make it 20. So the good thing with the emulator is that it allows you to see just how the users are going to be looking at your information, okay? Okay, thank you for partaking in this quiz. And I'm just going to add 2 buttons, and then I'm just going to add the last button that will be saying perhaps retake quiz. And then another button that would perhaps just simply be saying leave. Okay, let's just simply say exit. And of course, you're able to style you're able to style your buttons as you see fit. For example, we can change that color to that. And then maybe here we could go with maybe red to showcase that you're now leaving. But then if we do go with red on the second one, we are going to have to change the text color from that to maybe where it's white. Okay, looks like the color, there we go, white. So exit, and then we've got retake the quiz, etc. So, okay, I believe that Sylvester has posted the question. Okay, the buttons you're explaining, is it the same as new file that I can open on the desktop to save information in, or how? Well, the buttons can be used or can be viewed more in the aspect of them being, they're more of being answers. It's more like, imagine when you click on WhatsApp, when you tap on that button that says message or something of that sort. When you tap on a message and you want to send a message on WhatsApp, imagine how you click on that icon that looks like it's a circle that has got the message feature. I believe that's how it's exactly, it takes you to another activity. That's what these buttons are going to be doing. In our case, the buttons are going to be allowing for the participants, or are going to be allowing for anyone entering the information to be able to view the rest of it, or to be able to view, let's say, to answer the quiz. So we've entered in our code. I believe that this is enough for this example. Let's just go to blocks. So if you come to blocks, you can see that there's like a break here on this part. So let me just delete everything. Okay. So what you can see here is that this bag on your allows you to carry your information from one platform to the next platform, depending with exactly how you are traveling. So it allows you to carry multiple sources of code and reuse them simultaneously or differently, okay? So in this case study, I'm just simply going to click on screen. Let me come back to the screen 1. Save empty screen. I'm just going to click on screen one. And I hope I answered your question, Sylvester.
Thank you. It's clear
No.
now.
Okay, okay. So as expected, when you come to this side, you can see that there's absolutely nothing inside the block view of screen one. You always look up there to see which screen you're in. So in our case, I'm just select, perhaps let me come back to the designer. Anna, please mute your mic. Okay. Anatolia, please mute your mic. Okay. Hold on. Okay. Please forgive the sound in the background. Can the host please mute Anatolia on our behalf? Thank you. Okay, so we do it. The button that we are having in our case is the start quiz button, right? That's the button that's supposed to take us to the next level. I'm just going to click on it, and then I'm going to see here where now start quiz is clicked, something should happen, right? Okay, so once it's clicked, I want it to open up a new tab. So I'm going to scroll down and down and down and okay. So you will be able to see that it's going to set up. So you'll be able to see that this start quiz, once it's been clicked, we want it to take us to the next level. So I'm just going to click on the control, start quiz, open, I want the open feature. Control, we go to control, and then there we go. We have the option of open another screen. So we're just going to see that. So we're just going to see. Okay. So what we're looking at now. Okay. So once it's done, and then we can ask it to open up another screen name. So what we can do is that we can move over all of these different particular areas that are there to say that it should select something. So in our case, I'm going to select this text feature, and I'm just going to put it here. Yes, certainly I'm not the host. Ina, could you please mute Anna? Oh, I'm not sure who the host is. Okay, I believe that she is muted. Okay, great. So what we now do is that we say when start quiz is started, I wanted to open another screen, okay? So from this, when someone taps start quiz, we come here, we see the names of the screens that are there. So we see screen 2. I'm just gonna select screen 2 here. Let's just select screen 2. And that is it. That is the only code that we're going to need for us to be able to open it. Let's just hope that this feature here has finished running. So they're finished updating. So this is how it looks on the the app on the phone, this is how it would look. So if someone clicks or taps on start quiz, it would take them to the next activity, which would then be the screen activity or screen 2. Okay, so in our case, screen activity does not have any code, but you can see up here that it moved us to screen 2. Okay, so off to screen 2 we go. It's now time for us to edit that screen 2. So screen 2, we can see that we've got button 1. Now let me just check which answer was the correct one. Okay, when did Namibia get independence? So we've got button 1, button 2, and button 3. So we're going to select button 1. Then we're just going to drag and drop. Then we're going to select again button 2. Then we're going to select the other button, button 3, like that. And then I'm just simply going to select this button 4. Okay, so if you come to the source code, button 4 is not supposed to be visible. It's supposed to be hidden. Let's just remove it so that it's not visible. And this goes for the rest of the screen. Okay, so let's come back to screen 2. So button 4 is going to be invisible. So now when button 1 is clicked, something is supposed to happen. Okay, button 1. When button 1 is clicked, we want to do 2 things. One, we want to set the information that is going to be here to a certain value. So that means we can take, wrong. So that means that we are going to be looking for the feature to be able to open up the, for example, like this guy here, which is that button 1 is enabled. So just set it up here. So you want to drag it until you hear a clicking sound to show you that it's now been, let's say, set. So after that, you want to click on where it says enabled, and I'm just going to select text, and I'm just going to drag this a little bit further back, and this guy a little bit further back as well. And I'm just going to click on where it says text, and then I'm just simply going to come here to say that it is supposed to set up something, okay? So this text information that is appearing here is the button 1, the text, etc., all the information that's going to be there. So if someone clicks on button 1, that means while someone is playing the quiz, if someone clicks on 25 December, we've got options of telling them something, okay? So in our case, I'm just going to go with, sorry, wrong answer. Okay. Sorry, wrong answer. Please try again. Okay, and then after that, so also for the fun of it, we can also change that background color from what it's currently showing. So let's just simply click come here. I'm gonna add you this guy again. No. We want the background color to be on top. So if you want to move them, much like Scratch, you select the one that's under for you to remove or to separate 2 entities. Okay. And then after this, we're able to say set button 1. Then here, background color, we're able to choose our background color. So if you look to the built-in values, we also have colors. So depending with what color you want for wrong, I'm just going to go with the red. Okay, it seems like I had another typo here. Okay, there we go. So the wrong answer, please try again. So once we have something like this again, let's just see how it looks on the emulator if someone selects that option. So if I select 25 December, there we go. Sorry, please try again. Okay, so what we really want is to set this label instead. This is actually the one that we want to change. Set label. There we go. And then let's just see if we can separate you. Let's put you here. And then let's just select it. Goodness me. Okay, let's just remove you. Yes, they all do. Okay, so let's just, let me just move them all away. And then, bye-bye. There we go. And then now, we're just simply going to say that select the different use or the different usage that's currently appearing there. So what we're now then going to be looking at is the fact that the try again, we want to set the label text to that value, okay? So what we want to do is that we want to set not the button value, but we want to set the label. Okay, let's just move you. Okay, let's separate you guys again. Yeah, set label to set label to text. Let's just simply go with the text and see what's going to happen if we select that text feature. So set label to text to, and then here, I'm just going to drag this guy, and this is the one that I'm going to put there. And then now, here, I really don't want to set the button, but I want to set the label really to a different color. So for that, I'm going to come back here, and I'm going to say change background color, and then I'm going to take this guy instead of the other one. And then let's try to put you right there. There we go. And then now we can try to change the color. So let's just come to colors. And just like that. So what we have here is that we've got the set label text, set label to, and then equal to, then it's going to give us that particular value there. So if it's a wrong answer, it's then definitely going to be telling us that, okay, hey, sorry, that's a wrong answer. We need you to please try again. Okay, so let's just repeat that process. And then we're going to do the same thing again for this part, but then let's just see if we can duplicate this. And let's right click, disable block, add to blocks, download. No. Okay, let's just duplicate this single guy. And then we're going to put you there. And then we want to duplicate the color as well. Then we're going to put you there. Okay, so I actually need to know which button has the correct answer. Okay, so it is the button, let's see what button you are. It's button 2. Button 2 is the one that's correct. So here, button 3, it's still wrong. Okay, and then let's put this guy back in here. But just before we do that, let's try to duplicate you again. This time, you're not going to be wrong on button 2, you're going to be correct. And then duplicate again. Then we're just going to take you and put you there. Then let's just take this guy. No, go back. Now I put it back together. So what we're going to do now, if we just check the emulator, let's just change this guy to saying that EAP. Let's just say, that's you are, okay, you are correct. Then right here, we're going to try, if you click on the color, you're able to change the color depending on the one that you want, okay? And here, we also then want the last option is setting the value to true. We want to set the visible value or the visible variety to true. We really want to set that button for set label. Okay, set, okay, no. Okay, this guy should, no, let's get rid of you. Let's come back to label, set label to true. Okay, and here, I'm just simply going to select, I don't really want to set the question, I want to set the button to true. Okay, so we're going to have to delete this. Bye-bye. Then we're going to come to button 4, and then set button. This one should be able to give us the value and the feature that we'd like. There we go. Set to text. Okay, so now we really want to just simply set that text to, when I set the visibility, not the text, pardon me, visible. Then we come back to our text. Then we're just simply going to take this guy and we're going to try and attach him here. Goodness me. Okay, come on. Okay, let's just try to keep on. So the idea is that we have to select this feature or this value to true. And for us to do that, let's just simply delete. And then let's try again. We come back to text. Wow. Okay, so it's just simply resisting. I think my hands are a little bit, I believe that my hands are just a little bit wet. But wait. I'm using the wrong format. I think it's supposed to be the logic instead of the text. Pardon me. There we go. Set visibility to true. So let's just take a look at it in the emulator and then try to see what's going to happen. Let's hope that this is just going to restart. So let's just select another screen. Let's come back to screen 1. And then let's just wait for it to finish loading so that it can take us to the screen 2. So are there any questions so far before we continue? Hello? Okay. So let's just see how it currently looks. I'm so sorry, but the network sounds extremely bad from your side. So there we go. So by clicking on this 25 December, which is the wrong answer, it will give us, sorry, wrong answer. And we also don't get the option of moving forward to the next part. If we click there, we get the same answer. But if we click on this one, it says congrats, you are correct. And then it allows you to move to the next answer. So let us now then configure the button to open up the next terminal. Let us then just simply configure that option to open up the next terminal or the next screen rather, sorry. Yes, button 4. We want it to open up, we want it to open control. So you always come back to the control section and then you can open it up. So open another screen, and you can just simply put it there. And then now we need our text to just simply give it the name of the screen. And then the name of the screen that we're referring to here is going to be to screen number 3. Okay, so this part I'm not really going to focus on. I'm not really going to do it right now. I'm not going to showcase this going to this part 3 screen just yet, but let's just open up our Android again and then see what's going to happen. While it's loading, I'm going to move this. So another really great thing that we can do, okay, let's just empty the backpack. So that's how the backpack looks. So for us, if we in case we do not want to redo all of these things, we can just drag and then over the bag, and then we just leave it. And then just like that, we now have our source code available to us from everywhere. Okay, so I'm going to do this again, and then I'm going to do it again, and then I'm going to do it again. Okay, so now I'm just going to move on to the screen number 3, Now I'm going to open up our bag. And I'm just going to click on all of them, okay? So that they can all just simply appear, and appear. So this is really great for that day that you do not want to redo a lot of things. So like now when we're running out of time. So I'm just going to put this right here, and then I'm going to come back to the design section just so that I can know which answer is correct. So it will be the last one is correct. Okay, blocks. So here we can just take this part out, and then take this part out, and then we drag this part right into under that. And then I believe we should now then be able to put this guy right here, just like that. And so once that's done, the screen that we want to open now is not screen number 3, but it's screen number 4. So I'm just going to open up the emulator just to see what it looks like. So let's just see what happens if we select 23. It says sorry, wrong answer. Again, another wrong answer. But there you go, it says you got it, okay? So what we can also do, so we can also duplicate. Let me just duplicate you twice once more. And then let me just change you to false. So what we can do is that for every wrong answer that maybe someone else enters, we would want to perhaps. Sorry?
No, I was talking here, not there.
Okay. So if we now then come here, and let me just come back to screen number 1.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so when I start the quiz, the emulator it will be running a little bit slow, but feel free to download. Feel free to download this once you're done. Okay. Okay, so it's just gonna load a little bit slower with the question 3. Okay, in this case, nothing gets shown. I'm just going to select the correct one so that I can move on to the next part. Now, if I select a wrong one, there we go. Which part was the correct one? Concrete circle. Okay, so this one should be set to false. Okay, let's just hope that it is chosen to rerun. Okay. So you can see that the moment someone selects a wrong one, by default, it's not going to give him the next button or the next feature option. Okay, let me now then select next, which should be having nothing on it, except maybe just a few comments, I believe. Okay, so now we've got, I believe, 2 buttons, the retake quiz and the blocks. I'm just going to click on button 1, which is retake, and then I'm going to click on button 2. I'm just going to click on control. Yes, I'm almost done, I believe. Let me just finish it up with the last part of saying this part, or the first option, will open up something. We'll open up a new option, and then we want to close the application with the last part. Okay, so with this part, let me just look for the first option. Screen 1. So just like this, if we're to run the app, okay, let's see, if we click on retake, it will take you back to the first quiz, to the start. But I'm just going to come back because I just simply want to finish up with this last part. Okay, let it load and refresh. So are there any questions regarding this? So here we've just shown you the basics of the things that you can do. You can create your own quiz app. You can add a lot of interesting stuff. You can also add loops to try and ensure that, let's just leave it. Closing forms is currently not supported. Okay. So you can now then see that you've got the different options here like loops and then control in which you can add conditions to say that if, let's say, perhaps someone has selected a particular option, then it's able to run. So I'm just going to do this, and I hope that everyone has answered that form that we had, and this is going to allow everyone else to build it or to be able to at least run the information. Are there any questions?
Can I have something to say?
Yes, sir.
All I can say here is just to say thank you very much.
Okay.
The program was very good, not the last years. So it's going to, there will be another session again for this one. And I was supposed to learn more. Unfortunately, maybe time.
Yes,
So thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I'm not sure if Anna is still with us. Anna Frida, if you're still with us, please do feel free to say something if you like. Okay, I take it that she is not here. Okay, thank you very much. I'm not sure if anyone from Glodom would like to say anything, but on behalf of the African Codec in Glodom, thank you all for coming. Just before we leave, I would like us to just please switch on our cameras and then take a screenshot or a screen capture of this moment. They say an image can speak 1,000 words, and we're doing that today. Please do just switch on your cameras. There we go.
On the screen here.
Yes, yes, sir. Just switch on your camera. There we go. There we go. There we go. I'm not sure if there we go. I see a shadow of Mr. Sylvester. Okay, sadly I don't have a camera, so forgive me for ruining our awesome picture. Mr. Sylvester, if you can let the camera face you, that would be great. So that we have a picture of your face. Okay, there we go. We've got Irobi. Okay.
You can see me now.
Not yet. It seems to be stuck. So we'll just wait a bit. Okay. If we can all then just now switch on our cameras. Just turn the phone and let it look at you, you know, like at a good distance, like you're taking a selfie. There we go. There we go. Okay, Irobi, if you could please switch on your camera as well. There we go. Okay, so thank you all for participating with us. It's been an awesome day, and his face was gone. Okay, I'm not sure if anyone else has taken a screenshot, but thank you all for coming today. please do feel free to contact us, and I hope everyone has filled in the links. We're going to send you all the information that you need, and good day. Bye.
Pleasure.